Hey guys, what is up? It's me, Dylan Vole, and welcome back to a brand new video here on Accurate and Powerful LEGO Guns. Today, we'll be taking a look at this awesome pump action LEGO shotgun. Enjoy the video. Now before we get started on any of the testing, allow me to give you an introduction of this LEGO shotgun, as well as quickly showing you how to load this weapon. So, to start off, this is a short-barreled pump-action rubber band shotgun, which uses a spindle-style mechanism to fire off the rubber bands. Because it's a pump action, the pump will assist in operating the spindle mechanism as well as the usual trigger. And quickly show you how to load this weapon. What you may notice is the spindle is right there. And what you need to do is take a rubber band like this one, hook it around the spindle, hold on to the yellow bit on the outside as shown, pull it all the way through until you hook the rubber band on to this false look-alike barrel at the end of the weapon. Then you want to twist this part around like so, and keeping the pump in this position so that you can move the spindle fully, what you want to do is move this spindle around and then load again. Like so. And as soon as you are done loading the gun, I recommend 3 rounds at the max, pull the spindle up like that, close the pump, and you're ready to fire. So, just as you would do with a pump action shotgun, all you need to do is pump it and then pull the trigger and repeat until you have fired all your rounds. Now, it is time to go on to the range test of this LEGO gun. So here we are guys with the range test, and what we're going to do is we're going to shoot this rubber band gun 3 times, and then we're going to see how far it is able to shoot. So, kicking things off with test number 1, now test number 2, and the third and final test. Now that was the range test. We're going to go down range to see how far the rubber bands have been able to shoot out of this LEGO gun. Now here we are with the results of the range test. Now coming in at the closest was our first test here. This clocked in at 6 meters, which to be honest is really good for a rubber band gun. However, these two clocked in at an even further distance. Now this one, which I feel is the third test that we did, came in at 7 meters. The one that came just before went a little further at 7 meters 25. For a rubber band gun, I certainly wasn't expecting that, and it certainly does pack a punch. This gun may be super powerful with a damn good range, but will it prove useful in the accuracy test? Because you know a gun is useless as shit unless it can hit the target. We'll be finding that out very shortly, but before we do, allow me to talk you through the details of this pump action shotgun. This is a short-barreled pump action LEGO shotgun. It takes rubber bands as ammunition and has a maximum capacity of 3. The grip design of this LEGO shotgun is similar as the ones we have done before. The reason why we've kept this design is because it is super ergonomic, which makes it easier to use. The top of the LEGO gun, yet again, is polished off with smooth LEGO base plates with a small groove to contain the rubber bands, and we've also included this barrel feature which actually helps it with the rubber bands shooting. Last but not least, we have retained our spindle style mechanism from our previous rubber band guns. Just behind this spindle mechanism is a small tactical rail. This rail will allow you to place any sight on top of the LEGO weapon until the user wishes to remove the optic. This is the pump of the shotgun. It operates the action of the LEGO firearm. This is what the pump looks like when it is separated from the LEGO gun. This allows the user to comfortably operate the action of the shotgun. As you can see, the pump itself is hollow in the middle. The reason why is so that it can pass through a guiding rod that is attached to the main body of the shotgun. Additionally, there are two LEGO Technic axles / studs that will connect these grips onto the pump itself. These grips are comprised of multiple LEGO Technic base plates, and they clip onto the gun easily, like so. The same setup is repeated on the opposite side. The pump can be split up into two major components, one that goes under the guiding rod and one that goes above the guiding rod, sitting in between that guiding rod and the upper receiver of the LEGO shotgun. The guide rod itself is a fairly simple construction, with smooth LEGO base plates on top, studded LEGO base plates on bottom, and of course, regular LEGO bricks in the centre. And what this guide rod will allow you to do is keep the pump in place whilst allowing some movement so that the user can of course operate the action of the gun. However, it's this part of the LEGO pump that actually operates the mechanism inside the LEGO gun. That black Technic piece that I have just shown you will operate these two LEGO Technic rods. And as you push it back, you may notice that this piece will start to rotate. As you can see, as this black Technic beam rotates, so do these two gears just on the outside of the LEGO gun. These gears also operate this part, right here, like so. This LEGO Technic rod, which we'll call the sear, which is usually operated by the pump of the LEGO shotgun, will block this spindle, which is tasked with loading and firing the rubber bands. What you may notice is as the pump is pulled towards you, and as this black piece spins, you may notice that this sear will move out of the way. And what this will allow you to do is move the spindle around here, and all you'll need to do is pull the trigger and the rubber band will shoot. Should you ever find yourself in a position where you would have to dismantle the pump of this LEGO shotgun, then reassembling it is super easy. First off, you'll notice this part. What you'll need to do is you'll need to slot this part in between the guiding rod and the upper receiver, making sure to put it in this direction so that you can assemble the other parts of the pump. You'll want to do this, and you want to slide it through until the bottom of the pump is evenly placed inside or between the guide rod and the receiver. Then what you can start to do is take this part of the pump and slot it in, of course taking note of this black Technic part, like so, until the pump looks a bit like this. Now, I will say that the process, although easy, is super awkward. I did have to cut a bit of the tape just because I ended up fumbling around with the pump to try and assemble it. But once you find your way around, it should be easy to do. And what you'll find is the minute you assembled the pump, it's working. Boom. Yet again, the rubber band providing tension to the trigger is stored inside the LEGO gun, although at this point it is just a de facto standard for my LEGO weaponry. This part, connected to the spindle itself using a cross-section Technic axle, allows the user to operate the spindle from the outside of the gun, which makes loading a whole lot less awkward. And whilst we're on the subject of loading, let me remind you of how to load this LEGO weapon. So, keeping it short and brief, hook the rubber band onto the end of that, push down on this yellow part, hook the rubber band onto the end of the weapon, and push it through the trigger. Ensure that the pump is pushed in that direction, otherwise you will not be able to load the rubber band because the sear will block the spindle. You will want to repeat this process until you have loaded how many you want to load. My advised maximum capacity is, of course, 3 rubber bands, because you want to be careful with the amount you load on, because of course these LEGO guns are only built with LEGO, and whilst they're mostly stable, if you load too many rubber bands on, what you'll find is these guns will blow up. So you really have to be super careful. And of course, if you really want to and you really feel the urge, what you can do is hold the spindle at this position, push the pump forward, and you'll be required to operate the action before firing the first rubber band. When you're ready, you can fire, pump, fire, pump, fire. Pretty cool, huh? But for the LEGO gun to be of any use, it does have to be able to hit the target. So without further ado, it's time to go on to the accuracy test. Can this gun hit those 3 targets? It is time to find out. Testing without the attachment. Test 1. Pass. Test 2. Pass. Third and final test. Pass. All 3 pass. And just to see how accurate this red dot sight really is, we'll be doing a further 3 tests with it on. So test number 4. Pass. Test number 5. Pass. And test number 6. Pass. All 6 pass. From the accuracy test, it is clear to see that this gun is super accurate with or without this red dot sight. However, was it all the work of this gun, or was it just nothing but lucky shots? It will be time to find out shortly in the precision test, but before we do that, allow me to talk you through my own personal opinion of this gun. So starting off with more the mechanical features, this pump is really comfortable to hold and super easy to use, especially given that you have these studded grips on the side, and these grips will help keep your hand firmly fixed to that pump compared to having it smooth, which means it is a lot easier to operate than, of course, gripless. As for the mechanism of the pump itself, it is super reliable, and I've not encountered many issues with the pump mechanism. the gears that connect the pump mechanism to the sear that will allow you to turn a spindle work seamlessly, and of course the actual rubber band mechanism in and of itself is super reliable. Again, I have not had any single misfires with this LEGO gun, and to be honest, that's been a problem I've kind of encountered with some of my other builds, but this one I haven't had a misfire at all. Now, it's not to say that it will never misfire, but it is to say it is super reliable. Again, I really like that the gun's polished off and it's got a nice pistol grip. The pistol grip is just as comfortable as before. And of course, the trigger pull is only slight. Talking about the trigger, the rubber band attached to the trigger is super durable. It's not going to snap anytime soon, which is really good because then you can get many shots out of this before you even have to delve into the mechanism of the gun to fix the rubber band. Fixing the rubber band itself shouldn't be too much of a challenge because you could just remove this panel up here and just access the Technic part holding the rubber band with ease. Another really good feature is that it has a tactical rail, which will allow you to place sights on and off like so, which means that you could put any optic you want as long as it fits within this rail and use it to help you aim with this LEGO shotgun. Also, from what we've seen, this gun is also super powerful. It's got a super long range, and of course it's pinpoint accurate. Again, that could be lucky shots, but we'll find that out very shortly. Now that we've talked about some of the good features, we'll gloss over some of the bad features. Now, despite trigger discipline being super easy with this part, there is absolutely no trigger guard, meaning that when you're loading, your leg could accidentally catch on the trigger, which either will make it more difficult to load, or at worst case scenario will set off one of the rubber bands, which is not something you want to happen. Another bad feature about it is that when you pump the gun kind of splits apart, which is not good at all. However, you can easily solve the problem by clasping it down. Again, whilst the spindle moves, this part will also start to break apart. Again, clasp it down. And our final bad feature is no iron sights. Now, despite there being no iron sights, it's not the most difficult thing to aim with this LEGO gun. You can do, all you need to do is use these two studs on the rail, or each of these bricks shall I say, as a guide for your aiming, and besides it's your shotgun. What it's mainly designed for is taking the gun and quick firing with it to clear out a room. So with a shotgun, iron sight should be the least of your concern, but I do appreciate people would prefer an iron sight as compared to just an empty tactical rail. All in all, I will say that this LEGO shotgun is super good. It's super reliable, it's got a good decent range, and there's hardly any bad features with this LEGO gun. And if there is, they're cancelled out with and even outweighed by all the good features of this LEGO gun. It's not perfect, but it definitely is a brilliant build. But is it a precise build? That's what I want to know, and we're going to find out with the precision test. Here we are with the precision test, and what we're going to do is we're going to shoot this shotgun from that fixed point to that target, which is also going to be stored at a fixed point, to see if this gun is consistent with its shooting. Okay, so the shotgun is all loaded and ready to go, so let us start with test number 1. Pass. Test number 2. Pass. Third and final test.
pass. All 3 pass.
From that precision test, it is easy to see that this LEGO gun not only works well, has a good, easy to use, reliable mechanism, shoots with good firepower, and can hit the target rather easily, but it is rather consistent in doing so. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked the video, give it a like, and if you want to see more, click subscribe, and of course next time we'll be showing you this brand new bolt-action LEGO Brickshooter, based heavily on our prototype. However, it's got one major difference: a magazine that's not gravity dependent. Thank you for watching, and of course, keep on building.